In Manchester, a radio message has come in from a pilot of an EasyJet flight. 2 female passengers are suspected of smoking cannabis in the plane's rear toilet.
Who is it, blonde? I'll go upstairs, mate. All right, I'll go upstairs.
The pressure is now on for sniffer dog Amy to identify the suspects amongst the crowd.
Stay single file to the right, please, as you're coming through, thanks. Just stay to the right and keep walking past. Ames, in here. Just lower that back for me, please. Amy.
Amy is looking for drugs, but UK border officer Phil is trained to spot suspicious behaviour.
Thanks very much. There was a girl who didn't really want to... I don't know whether she had a small handbag. If it was her, she wasn't too keen on lowering it for the dog.
It wasn't a definite indication, so Amy boards the plane to search the seats for any drugs ditched by the suspects.
Hey, am I in about the general area where she was sat? Yeah. Dog isn't pinpointing any particular areas, she's just very busy around all those seats. Staff have been on already and done a search of the whole area. So what there could be, the dog could just be picking up the residual smell of whatever she's been doing, been taking.
With no physical evidence left on the plane, the officers will stop and search the 2 suspects for any cannabis. Unexpectedly, the officer gets a hit for cocaine.
It's quite noticeable that this particular one wasn't keen for the dog to go anywhere near her. And by the sounds of it, they are getting traces off them at the moment for cocaine. So the officers are just doing further investigation on that at the moment.
Confronted with the evidence, one of the girls admits to having taken cocaine, but with such strong traces, officers are still highly suspicious.
Well, still getting hits absolutely everywhere for coke. The thing you said you used some last night, yeah. First luggage. I also got hits on the plane for coke, so from the dog where you were sat.
On the plane?
Yeah, if you both, yeah. Your seats on the plane, okay. So, what I'm going to do, we'll take you into... You want to take one of these rooms, and we'll get some repack the bag and bring it in. Come in here with me.
Officers have no jurisdiction over drug use abroad, but they suspect the girl may be carrying cocaine internally. It's a serious crime with potentially lethal consequences.
Also, I've got a suspicion that you could have drugs internally somewhere, because there's none in your bag.
You crazy, man.
No, that's what it is. So, what I have to do here, okay, I'm arresting you, okay, on suspicion of being involved with the illegal importation of a controlled substance, cocaine. Okay, it's okay on this one. I have to arrest you. You do not have to say anything, okay, but it may harm your defence. If you fail to mention something in question you later on, anything you do say will be given in evidence. Do you understand that?
Right.
The girls will now be searched and x-rayed.
And what happens when you don't find anything?
If nothing's found, I'm sure you'll be arrested and go on your way.
Their ordeal is far from over. In Gatwick, officers are x-raying the bags off a flight from Turkey. It's outside the EU and a regular source for smuggling cheap cigarettes. But the team have their doubts about this particular flight.
It's a Saga Holidays flight, which means it tends to be the older generation.
If we get cigarette seizures off this, I'll eat my tie.
But straight away, the officers find over 4,000 cigarettes. They then head upstairs to see who collects the bags. They watch as the passengers walk straight through, nothing to declare. It's at this point the offence has been committed.
You've come into the green nothing to declare channel, which means you've got no more than 1 litre of spirits each, one packet of 200 cigarettes each, as long as you're over 17.
I've got 200 cigarettes, but...
How many have you got?
I've got 2,000 myself. And you've got 2,000 of our own brain.
It's a clear-cut offence, and the man won't be happy with the result.
By coming into the green channel, over the allowances, you have committed an offence.
Right, go for it.
So, because you've come into the green channel, the penalty will be today is for me to seize all the cigarettes from you. No.
If I can go over to France...
Yeah, but France...
Legally, no, I can legally go over to France with a 7.5-tonne lorry, fill it up with 1 maker fags and come through, legally, and I can't be done for it. Doesn't matter how many you bring through.
Yeah, but that is because it's going to Europe and tax has been paid into Europe. By buying them in Turkey, it's outside the European... Yeah, but not to the European Union.
That was our fault.
Yeah, but the problem is you've come...
Turkey's in Europe.
Turkey's not in the European Union,
Turkey's in Europe.
but it's not in the European Union.
Well,
And by not being in the European Union, that means tax is not paid into the European Union, which is why you have an allowance of 200.
The man
Anything over
thinks he
that
knows his
must be declared
geography,
in the red
but he
channel.
clearly doesn't know the law.
be
It's
better
as simple
arrest
as
me
that.
because I'm taking his bags with me.
You won't be taking your cigarettes with you.
Who's stopping me?
Go all the way through.
No, no. At the end of the day,
I'm not being rude. Like,
at the end of the day, it's my hard-earned money that's bought them, and she wants to take them so they can
we should be able
chuck
to
them in
now
the
to pay the
incinerator.
tax.
It's
on
wrong.
them. We've said, OK, that's fair enough, hands up. We'll pay the tax.
Totally
That's
wrong.
unfair.
Yeah, but you've committed an offence. But yeah, but you've committed an offence by coming into the green channel. It's an outright offence.
Where they come from?
Turkey.
Turkey, you're at 200
In the
each.
European,
That's it.
I'll come from Europe.
Makes no
But
difference.
not the European Union.
200
It's a difference.
is what
The
your
man
limit is.
decides to
Turkey's
take the law
outside
into
the
his own
EU.
hands.
No,
I'm going round the red channel, sorry.
No, you're too
No.
late. Come down there.
you've come into the green channel.
Right, I'll take them.
No.
200 are allowed to be mine.
No,
You've
by
just said
coming
I'm
into
allowed 200.
but by coming into
lost
the
them.
by coming into the
Give me the
channel.
paperwork, arrest me.
Get a bag.
No, them. A lot of them. I'm not. This is my own money. It's my own money, which I've got ended up from. This was a family holiday. I paid for it from my Danny Grand stepbed legacy, and they're going to take even more money from me. Bad enough, the government ripping you off and inheritance tax and every other tax, and then these do the same.
Taking cigarettes from tired passengers can often boil over into angry confrontations. Sam hopes she's seen the last of this man's temper. Back in Manchester, the suspected smuggler's plan is beginning to unravel, and their attempt to dispose of the evidence has failed.
Okay, right, no worries.
What was the flight? One of the officers found a package by the bench, which we think one of the girls has actually dropped. It was found to be cannabis in a sock. He's actually looked, and within the cannabis he's found a small plastic bag, like a deal bag, containing some white powder. We suspect that to be cocaine. The girl who was travelling with her, the officers have conducted a search of person. During the search of person, they found another package. It's a sock containing cannabis. They weren't sure whether they could feel something else, so they upgraded the search to a strip search. They've done a strip search now, and they're quite happy she's got nothing on her person.
But having detected such high hits for cocaine, the girls are led away for a full-body X-ray. Class A smugglers face a maximum of life in prison.
Just get in there and sit down, please. You're best not talking to each other. If you talk to each other, we'll have to take you one at a time, and it'll take longer.
Dealing with suspected drug swallowers is also stressful for the officers. If the girls do have packages internally, it's a life-threatening situation.
By using the machines we have in the green channel, we've found very high traces of cocaine. So we believe they could well have concealments of cocaine inside them. We just simply put the passenger on the machine and it passes the person through the machine. We instantly get an image on screen that we can examine, and if we can see packages there, then they back up to custody while we await the packages to pass through the system.
Fine, don't you?
Don't know.
What do you think?
You tell us. We've got to be 100% sure there's nothing up there. 'Cause if we say there's nothing there, and if it is something like cocaine, that when the package does split, you're talking a matter of seconds before you suffer a fatal overdose. So we want to be 110% sure there's nothing there before we say, yeah, it's negative. If you put your feet on them marks, hold on to either side, it's be a couple of seconds and it'll start moving.
Thankfully, both scans are clear, but the girls are still in trouble. 2 weeks later, a court decided the drugs were for personal use only, and they got a 12-month suspended sentence for the attempted importation. And back in the Gatwick search bay, things seem to have calmed down a bit.
If you back down, mate, I'm not going to anyone. Because if I did, it would be you looking at me like that. Believe you me, you'd be on your with it. Well, he's standing there.
There's cigarettes at the end of the day. Let them do what they want to do. We're going to burn them anyway. Forget about it.
Well, we were going to burn them one by one.
Forget about it.
The gentleman wasn't too happy about the fact that I was seizing his cigarettes, but it is a right offence coming in from Turkey. You are only allowed 1 packet of 200 cigarettes. You have to be over the age of 17, and they were in very much in excess of their allowances.
Good evening.
It was until we met you.
At Gatwick Airport, a flight has just landed from Port of Spain, St. Lucia. UK border officers need to closely monitor flights from the Caribbean, a known source area for cocaine. Sniffer dogs are a powerful tool in fighting smugglers, and one bag in particular gets rookie drug dog Barney excited.
But I took Barney to where a Caribbean flight was landing, and he gave a really nice indication on a passenger's bag.
This bag is yours and this bag is yours? Yes. Right, there's things that you cannot bring in this country, okay? Things that you cannot bring in. You have no guns. Guns, like shoot, bang, bang. No guns, no drugs. No cocaine or anything like that. No? Sure? Okay. Has anybody given you anything to bring back? You're carrying parcels of gifts for people.
It's the given, it's the...
That's not what I'm asking, right? Just put that on there for me.
The passenger is acting nervous, and Warren decides to do some background checks.
I mean, he's quite a presentable bloke that you probably wouldn't look at too much, but when Darren's come up and said that the dog's indicated on the bag, obviously you focus on that bloke. When we focus on him in the queue, he's quite nervous, and he's showing signs that he doesn't really want to be there. He wants to be straight through and out. And obviously when he's been intercepted as well, he's showed out there as well. He's fiddling with the bag. He doesn't want to make eye contact with you. And then from initially speaking really good English, he doesn't seem to understand what I'm saying to him. So yeah, it's all there.
The man's bag is put through an X-ray to check for irregularities, and straight away it confirms Barney's suspicions.
Right, you need to listen to me very carefully, okay? I know your English is not good. Okay, I'm arresting you on suspicion of being involved in the illegal importation of a controlled drug. Okay, you don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand what I've said to you?
No, I understand.
Well, basically, in a nutshell, okay, I think you have drugs in your baggage, and that's why you've been arrested.
What?
I think you have drugs in your bag, in here, okay? So you've been arrested for that, yes. We'll explain it a bit more later on, okay?
Warren has uncovered a false bottom in the suitcase, but with the man now claiming not to understand English, it's going to take a while to get to the bottom of the story. At Manchester, border officers in the immigration area have asked Officer Liz to search a man hoping to enter the UK on a tourist visa, as they have concerns over how long he plans to stay.
Okay.
This gentleman's coming into the country to meet somebody he's met on the internet. It's a girlfriend, and he's coming into the UK to see her for the first time.
And how long is it you're here for?
6 months.
6 months. And why have you come to the UK?
To eventually try to get married to my girlfriend. I proposed to her over online.
Oh, right. And she accepted? Oh, excellent.
The reason that we're going to search for his bags now is because the immigration officers have questioned him upstairs when they took his passport off him when he entered the UK. Because of what he said, his reason for staying here, that's why they want us to search his bags to see if there's any documents in there that's going to indicate he's going to stay in the UK for longer than what he's intimating.
And when did you meet your girlfriend?
Back in October.
October 08? Yeah. Just gonna put that on there.
The man is being unusually candid, but his story has all the hallmarks of an immigration scam.
All right, so you met her in October 08. Where was that?
On an online game.
Oh, in an online game?
Yeah.
Oh, right, what game was that?
Second Life.
Second Life?
Yeah.
What's that all about? What kind of game's that? Is it like
it's a role-playing game.
All right.
Just a bunch of pictures.
Okay. Right, so you've proposed to someone you've never even met.
The man's honesty is starting to get him into trouble.
Talking on webcam long enough.
So when you get married, when do you plan to get married?
Well, we're gonna try to give it about a month or two, and then we're gonna, if we're still madly in love with each other, we're gonna go ahead and do it.
Okay.
And then we're gonna apply for the marriage visa.
Right, and where will you live? Will you live here or in the States?
I'll live with her.
But this is against immigration rules, and unless he begins to explain himself, the romance may have to remain online.
That's a pair of panties she sent me.
All right, it's okay. All right, this is the movie collection.
It seems the customs search is starting to go a bit deeper than the man would like.
What's that? Oh, right, oh, this is your eyes. This is your private collection, is it? That's
yeah,
okay.
My dad tried stealing from me.
Got a bit of cannabis in there. It's a bit of weed there, is it?
Liz discovers what could be cannabis.
Know where it came from.
And suddenly
Yeah, I
the
mean, we're
man
on
becomes
social, yeah.
evasive.
Is that what it is?
I'm not really sure.
You're not sure? Okay. You just staying on there for a minute?
The man's bid to meet his fiancée looks on increasingly shaky ground. In Gatwick, the suspected smuggler has been taken to the custody suite. Meanwhile, Warren investigates what's hidden inside the suitcase.
It's pretty well done, actually. Basically, you can see that it's got like a false bottom in it. What we want to do is just to spike it and test whatever's underneath. Let's see what we've got. There you can see, you've got like a white powder or paste on the end there. It's like a field test for cocaine.
Warren has found a white powder
on there
hidden
once we
deep
put the
in the
liquid on.
structure of the suitcase.
Yeah, you can see it starting to go blue already. So we've got cocaine in there.
And it's a big haul for the team.
How much do you think's there, one?
3 kilos.
3?
2, 3.
That's good.
The man has to be held while a Bulgarian translator is found. The officers are now able to communicate the seriousness of the crime.
Right, for that reason, okay, he was arrested on suspicion.
И поради тази причина сте арестуван по подозрение,
Being involved in illegal importation.
че сте бил замесен в нелегален внос
Of a controlled drug.
на контролирано наркотик. Неконтролиран наркотик.
Наркотик?
Наркотик. What drug do you mean?
It doesn't really matter at the moment, okay?
В момента няма значение за какъв наркотик става въпрос.
Смисъл такъв, откъде изляза?
Right, hang on 1 minute. Basically, all we're doing here, okay?
Where did it come from?
Well, I don't know. He'll have to explain that, and he'll get the chance to explain that later.
Ще ви се даде възможност да обясните това по-късно.
Okay, all we're concerned with at the moment is him realising or understanding why he's been arrested, okay?
В момента просто единственото, което трябва да разберете, защо сте бил арестуван.
For rookie drug dog Barney, it's his first seizure, and he's in line for a big reward from handler Darren.
I'm really pleased. He's a new dog to me, but he's doing really well. Ready? I think he's a star in the making. Good lad.
Back in Manchester, immigration have asked customs officer Liz to examine the bags of a passenger from the US with a suspicious story and some suspicious baggage.
This guy's just come over from America. He's come to see his internet girlfriend, who he's never met before. It sounds like he's intending to stay, so it sounds more like an immigration issue than from our point of view. I've just been looking. He's got some adult DVDs, but I've just found a little tiny, just little residue, potentially of cannabis, herbal cannabis, so I'm just going to give it a quick test and just see if it is or not. Yeah, so I've got a positive reaction. It's very, very small amount. I mean, obviously, he's been very upfront about what his intentions are, which could be unfortunate for him, depending on what immigration decide. But from what he's been saying to me, it does sound like he does intend to, you know, come over here to get married and to, you know, stay here with his wife when he gets married.
Liz thinks the cannabis is probably just a sign of personal use, and so decides to hand him back to immigration.
Yeah, it's reacted positively to cannabis. I mean, have you got any drugs on you at all today?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay, what will happen now is we'll take you back upstairs. I'll just show the immigration officer the paperwork that I found. Okay, and then it'll be up to them then. They might want to ask you a few more questions. Okay. Basically, he's applied for a visit visa, which means he's come here for the purpose of tourism. When he's actually got to the immigration desk, he told the immigration officer that he's come to meet his girlfriend. So it sounds really like he doesn't intend to go back at all. So I've passed that information on to the immigration officer. They'll interview him and they'll make a decision about whether or not to let him come into the UK or whether to send him back home to America.
The man was allowed into the UK to meet his fiancée for the first time, but their relationship has been put on hold as he was returned to the United States the next day. In Gatwick, a flight has just arrived from Trinidad. It's a well-known source of cocaine, and sniffer dog Rossi has just seconds to pick out any smugglers hiding amongst the innocent passengers.
Okay, thank you.
Your voice was frightened.
Thank you. That's it. Well done.
Suddenly, Rossi picks up a scent and targets a woman in a white jumper.
Just stand still for me.
UK border sniffer dogs are trained to pinpoint the exact location of any drugs. Rossi indicates on the woman's bag.
Are you together? Are you training by yourself?
The passenger seems nervous, but after the initially strong indication, Rossi loses interest.
Where? Okay, thank you, madam. That's fine, thank you. He basically pulled to get to her, or get to her scent, so I dropped the lead, and he was all around her rucksack, and he dropped the floor, so he tried to get it underneath it.
Back down into the channels anyway, just in case your guys have picked anything up down there.
Yeah, I might see what's in her bag anyway.
Meanwhile, Gatwick's newest drug dog, Barney, is examining the baggage from the same flight. Barney gives his strongest indication yet on this black and white spotted suitcase.
I've got a feeling it could be this lady here.
Officers watch as the same woman collects the bag.
And it is. All right, thank you.
With two separate indications, the officers think she must be smuggling cocaine. The team must keep the suspect under surveillance to make sure she doesn't slip away. But surprisingly, it's her who approaches the officers to ask for some directions. Fitz intercepts the passenger.
Hi, where are you travelling from today?
Here called Trinidad.
Trinidad. You travel on your own?
Yeah.
Okay, just have a quick word if that's all right. Hello.
But now the suspect seems more relaxed, even as Barney gives another unmistakable indication. The sniffer dogs believe the bags contain cocaine, but now it's up to Fitz to find it. In Manchester, UK border officers are on the lookout for people bringing in more than 200 cigarettes on a flight from Gran Canaria. They spot 2 bags full of cigarettes. Kevin puts them back on the carousel, giving the passengers the opportunity to declare the excess, using the phone provided in the customs red channel. Ignoring the signs, they walk through nothing to declare, and the passengers aren't happy to hear that the goods will now all be seized.
There's no signage and conveyor belt there, and we have to go and pick a phone up. No, there's nothing telling me to pick a phone up. When you walk in here, so I can you categorically say I didn't go near that phone? I can do, yeah, because I watched it. I went round the back of the belt, I x-rayed the flight. I seen you pick up your bags off the belt, and I watched you walk towards the green channel. You never went anywhere near the goods declare channel. You walked straight into the green channel saying, yeah, not declare. Okay?
It's going to be no tax. It's going to be seized on you today.
The red phones have been there for years, but the man's still hoping to bend the rules.
There you go. What's the crack in?
As the officers already said, there's signs out there.
No, there's nothing that says we have to pick a phone up though, is there? Come on.
We can't, there's nothing we can do. If you had declared them at the red point, you could have paid the duty.
Of course there's something you can do.
It's not.
No, I've never brought anything back in life.
Now other passengers decide to get involved.
No reason because they love to
It's not offence, you know.
I'm talking to you, mate. I'm talking to you. Well, I'm not listening to you.
Right, I'll just show you the red point where the gentleman that's just been very abusive to us about not having the opportunity to declare the cigarettes. This is where he should have come. Bringing in excess goods, you should declare them at the red point. The gentleman's argument was there was no staff behind the red point. We tried to explain that there's a red phone there for him to use, and he said, well, he shouldn't have to do that. There's no signs telling you to do that. And there quite clearly is. It says there, goods to declare, you must speak to an officer or make your declaration using the red telephone. So, he's not got a leg to stand on, I'm afraid.
And now the man decides to turn nasty.
The fact that, you know, you've got an asshole like you, and you've got a manager who's got no discretion, you're not going to be sweeping the floor.
Unfortunately, that's the way people get. It's just they get upset because having a cigarette seized from them.
Despite clearly being guilty, the men haven't finished abusing the officers just yet. Back in Gatwick, the suspected cocaine smuggler picked out by the sniffer dogs is now being searched.
They did this over there, so it doesn't matter what
Sorry,
how you pack it back or whatever.
Right, oh, okay.
Because they pretty much messed it up.
Who was that?
They checked the bags and whatever across there.
They checked them before you came out, did they?
They
Right.
did the same thing.
Oh, okay.
So they pretty much messed it up. So.
Right.
With 3 separate sniffer dog indications on the bags.
Okay, I just need to do a quick x-ray of your suitcase, all right?
Yeah.
UK border officer Fitz is convinced he'll find something inside.
All right, doesn't seem to give us that much information about it, so probably have to do a further examination. I'll take it to the tool room and have a look, have a closer look, actually.
Surprisingly, Fitz can find no sign of cocaine. And even the drug swab is clear.
Right, the actually ascertain there's nothing in there. No, which is a bit of a shame, really, as it was a good indication by the dogs, I must admit.
It's disappointing, but with such strong suspicions, Fitz isn't willing to give up the search just yet.
That's the beam that you plug into the television.
Right.
It's a games console dance mat, but something doesn't add up.
Has you got a PlayStation with her? No. So why would you have one of these anyway? Yeah. Right, round 2. I mean, it is heavy as hell.
Fitz then spots the clue he's been after.
The actual casing looks like it's already been removed once before.
This acts like a sniffer dog. It's just looking for minute particles of substances that within sky high. It's got to be there.
Suspicions are now even higher, but where are the drugs?
Is that rubber impregnation?
That's what I think it is.
Mm.
Ever seen it in a dance mat?
Have you tried doing it on that? Can you break the
Yeah, that's what.
Can you break a bit off?
No, you can do if you want to. The material's gone blue. Oh. I can't just say that's a positive then.
Amazingly, the rubber inside the dance mat is full of cocaine.
The time is 10 past 10. I'm arresting you on suspicion of being involved in the importation of a controlled drug.
It just goes to show, with smugglers using ever more devious methods, the officers can take nothing for granted.
Anything you do say may be given in evidence, do you understand? Okay.
The officers' persistence has paid off, and yet another smuggler has been caught red-handed.
North.
The drugs were ingeniously hidden, and one member of the team deserves a special reward.
Knock yourself out, you little star. Well, he's just had his second job in 3 days to cocaine detections, which is unprecedented for such a new dog. He's only been in the job for 6 months. It's brilliant. But in the meantime, he's going to get this as a treat because it's just an unbelievable job for such a young dog.
And while Barney enjoyed his bone, the woman won't be enjoying her freedom. She pleaded guilty and could be facing around 10 years in prison. Back in Manchester, the angry passengers want to appeal against the decision to seize their cigarettes. But they're now refusing to sign the paperwork.
I had 606 stuff, I can't remember what it says.
After 2 hours, the men are starting to test the officer's patience.
There you go. That is my argument.
Right. Whether it goes to appeal or not,
Right.
he won't get his cigarettes back.
Okay.
You won't get your cigarettes back because you've entered the goods nothing to declare channel, stating that you've got nothing to declare. And I followed you straight to the green channel.
Dad, just it. Can't be with it. Just job worse.
Well, I was going to say that we've got more pressing things to do than stand here arguing with you.
I couldn't agree with you more.
The already tense exchange is about to escalate.
Again, you need to just learn that you learn what? Learn. Why are you talking like that?
Don't talk to me like I'm a piece of lad.
Yeah, hold on, you're the one you were talking to us like this.
So laughing for no reason.
Yeah,
Don't try to tell me what to do. Yo, don't try to tell me what to do. Stand
He's having a conversation.
I'll tell you now, you'll have less of that now, otherwise I'll arrest you and I'll have you upstairs.
Right, let's
just pack it in now.
And they were getting quite abusive, and it was getting to the stage where we thought they might be having to arrest them for obstruction or even assault. It was getting close to them. It looked like they were going to lash out. Right, I've not been rude or abusive job. I've tried to be careful. Luckily, we talked them round and they've left in the end, but I'm not very happy because we had the cigarettes seized. Just straight down there and then round to your left.
The illegal cigarettes will now be destroyed. In Manchester's Terminal 2, a flight has just touched down from Dubai. A man acting strangely has been intercepted by the UK border officers. Inside the suspect's bags, Gary has found flight manuals and pilot training information.
He's just looking very edgy, very nervous, but he's got all sorts of literature on planes. He says he's just an enthusiast, but he says it looks too detailed, really. It looks like confidential stuff.
So, for you to draw a flight desk simulation planes, where are you getting that information from? Internet. So everything that you've got in front of me here, you have copied from the internet. What?
The internet, yeah.
All the stuff that you have in here.
Yeah.
It's just something very, very strange.
Yeah.
So you just have a look at him and he wants to go.
I know he's looking at you.
The gentleman come through off the Dubai flight, some single traveller. He seemed nervous in the way he was entering the channels head down, sluggish walking, avoiding eye contact with me, to be honest. Basically found a lot of literature with regards to flying flight schools, avionics of the plane, and various courses with regards to cabin crew.
As Gary digs deeper, the details become more and more incriminating.
Why have you got information about fighter planes?
Well,
combat planes, weapons.
Well, these were. I was interested during the RAA points.
You were interested in what, sorry?
Joined the RAA for Royal Air Force.
Okay, so you're trying to self-teach yourself by learning from the internet how to fly planes.
No, from that. I'm just getting some information from the internet. That's what I'm doing.
So you're just getting some information
The man's lack of answers is worrying Gary.
of aircraft by the looks of all this stuff.
I'm just making a book, that's all.
So you're now making a book?
No, I'm not making a book. What I'm doing, because I go on these planes all the time. You can see my passport. I went to flying school in Bangladesh. The aircrafts were too old.
What was the name of the flying school?
Bangladesh flying school.
Okay, how long were you at Bangladesh flying school for?
No, I wasn't there for long. I just went to see.
You just told me you were at flying school.
Yeah, I went there to see the aircraft. That's all. Just to look at this stuff.
So weren't taught anything in lessons at all?
No, I've not took any trial lessons. You know.
Well,
I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not.
Okay, like I asked you before, are you just sort of learning to be a pilot from information you were downloading from the internet?
No. I mean,
so where's all this information?
I've made them. I've collected. No one helped me. That's all I can say.
Well, I mean, I'm no sort of aircraft specialist, but some of this seems quite sensitive. If this got in the wrong hands, it could be quite...
Gary finds a hard drive with more aircraft data.
Aircrafts.
That you've downloaded off
here.
The internet?
Yeah.
When did you last go to Bangladesh before this trip?
The man's odd behaviour and contradictions are increasingly alarming.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Don't remember. You said you travelled all the time.
Yeah, I do, but it's a passport thing. I remember when travel.
You're not making sense, really.
The man's answers are becoming more vague, and his story sounds stranger all the time.
When I was young, I went to college, school, I had friends. I've lost everything. I lost my friends, mates, everything. Everyone's gone.
He doesn't seem to be able to back anything up that he's talking about. All his answers are sort of wavering. He's saying one thing, but he's not really backing it up and backtracking on things. So he's not telling us the truth about something. So we're going to swab his bag, screen it for explosives.
The officers believe the man may be involved in terrorist activities, and the suspect is saying nothing to explain the documents. Gary has called in Special Branch while they await the result of the swab for explosives. On a night shift in Dover, officers are monitoring outbound vehicles on the hunt for large amounts of cash which may be linked to crime. Ben is questioning a Polish vehicle, looking for any clues that they may have something to hide.
How much money have you brought to England with you? 3,000. And how much are you taking back to Poland now? How much money do you have left?
1,600.
Is that between all of you, yes?
No,
£1,600 each.
Ben thinks the group are telling lies.
So you each brought £3,000 to England,
yeah.
And you all take 1,600 back for you. And it's all in £50 notes as well?
Yeah.
And where did you get the money from then?
From Polish exchange point.
And they just gave it in 50s, not in smaller? Okay, that's good. If you can bring your money and yourselves and come out the car, and then we go.
The specially trained sniffer dog will now search the Polish vehicle for cash to see if the passengers are telling the truth. As Miller and dog handler Bo search the car, Ben presses the passengers on their story.
So what have you spent your money on while you've been here in England?
Fun. Clubs and drinking and stuff like that.
Okay, and you've all got 1,600.
The car is clear. But Miller picks up a cent in one of the rucksacks.
Is there more money in that bag? No?
Just show me this bag.
The man denies having any more cash, but Miller has found an envelope which gives Ben reason to believe the group are lying to him.
So that's where money's been. Was that in this bag, is it? All right. It's wages or?
Yeah, wages.
That's had money in, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so that's why the dog smells it. So have you been working in England then? I thought you came here on holiday.
Yeah, those guys before.
Who was on holiday? But not you. You work in England. So why didn't you say you work in England? Do you all work in England? Are you sure? It's not a problem if you work in England. Just tell me if you do. You don't work in England. You're on holiday. So it's not wages that you're taking back to Poland. You sure?
Yeah.
What about yours? Is yours wages that you take home? Because it 859, 803, £1,600, £1,600, 16. So do you work in England or not? Yeah, I think you work in England. Yeah. So why you say you don't work in England? It's not a problem now. You're Polish. You can work in England. Yeah? Okay. So you do work in England.
Yeah, sorry for that.
So if it hadn't been for your wage slips, you'd have been all right.
The needless lie has been uncovered.
Obviously now, the Poland's in the European Union. They can work in the UK, but for whatever reason, I don't know whether they're scared to tell us the truth, they're actually working here, or whether it's just a case of they don't want to say how much money they're taking out of the country, so they've all come out with the story that they've come here on holiday, each got £1,600 left, and then they're taking it back to Poland, so it didn't really ring true. 1,600, 1,600, 1,600, okay?
It's clever really, because sometimes that happens, you know, someone lies about the amount of money they've got and then the dog will indicate on an item of paperwork that's been with their money, which is obviously why the dog indicated.
It's a barefaced lie, which officers are used to.
Sometimes we don't know why they lie, but sometimes we do find it out, and it's the smallest of reasons, really.
So you guys
The passengers have done nothing illegal and are free to go. In Manchester, the officers are dealing with something potentially far more serious. They've stopped a passenger with a bag full of sensitive aircraft data. The explosive swab found no trace, but now they found evidence of multiple foreign trips paid for by someone else.
Basically, we found a lot of information about aircraft flight simulators, different magazines, different information on fuel from aircraft.
What planes are these? Are these small planes and commercial aircraft?
No. The Boeing planes, aircraft, the real aircraft,
big long.
Yeah.
Gary calls in Special Branch to tell them about the suspect's strange story.
My mum's boyfriend pays for it as well. Not only my dad. I've got my mum's boyfriend. He's an Englishman.
Go back to the bench for
Yeah.
In a climate of global terrorism, the officers need to be on the lookout for all suspicious behavior.
That's the cabin crew information.
I don't want the cabin crew, but you can keep him if you want, because I'm not doing any work on these.
This is the list of...
That's on the passport I've that's on the passport I've...
He's flown.
What does that tell him with what's in his passport?
2003, 2008, he said his tape took off 34 times and landed 34 times.
Gary and the UK border officers have taken the questioning as far as they can. They now hand the suspect over to Special Branch for further investigation.
Okay,
do you want to get your bags and just come and have a word with us?
Cheers, mate. I mean, there's nothing secret. I won't keep a secret.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, no worries.
For Gary and the team, the strange encounter comes to an end.
I can't understand why he's doing all these trips. Just could be in his own little fantasy world.
He might be a bit of a fruitcake or a chance.
The man is led away for questioning, while the border officers wait to find out the cause of the man's strange behavior.